the devil works on him hardcore.
Yeah, yeah.
And it just makes me think that he must be or is doing or has done something really right to have that much, like the eye of Sauron on him
Yep.
like that, to just have to be drugged through all that. So
Hmm. Yeah,
yeah,
man.
I know that I've felt that before. Like you're just happy going along, and then all of a sudden, bam!
Yep.
And then it feels like you're like, what have I? And you don't ever think about it in the moment, like, oh, I must have been really doing something right. You're just
Hmm.
like, this freaking sucks.
Yeah. Yep.
So,
Yeah, every once
and
in a
I
while I'll
felt
get
that
in
this
that.
whole time when we were trying to set something up. I'm like, man, this kid, you're not a kid. I'm sorry. This
It's
guy's got
fair.
the freaking devil on his ass so hard.
It's felt
God
like it a little
dang.
bit. Yeah. It has felt
Do
like it a
you
little bit.
so did you- do you realize that when you're in the moment, or do you just see the crap storm that you're in?
A lot of times I will, not every time, but like this
Right.
time we for sure were just like, okay, we feel like, because I, especially getting back into more of a focus on more of a ministry mindset, I guess you could call it, or like, because I came out of those years of sort of like, what in the world am I doing with my life again? To all of a sudden the Lord's like, hey, I'm bringing you into something again. And so these last few years when things would happen, I'd be like, okay, something's trying to keep me from it, or at the
Right.
very least this is one of those like processes that's like the pressure to refine gold or heat the whatever,
Yeah.
all that. And I'm like, okay, well, I guess I just got to get through it because it's coming against me. But there were sometimes during this process of like getting hit by a truck, I remember feeling like, and I was talking to my friend who sees in the spirit, and he was like, I sort of just get this feeling that like something was after you and your angel stopped it from being as bad as it could have been. I was like, honestly,
Dude.
probably.
Dude. That's heavy.
Yeah.
Like that's not just that's I don't know. That's not just like a thing. That's like heavy. Like all that spiritual warfare stuff.
Hmm.
I we recently went through this like a class through our church, and it was something I didn't want to do, and Beth was doing it to get more involved, and I was like, I feel like I'm plenty involved, and then
Hmm.
it's the thing where you're like, well, I don't want to be a jerk. Like I have that night free. Am I not just gonna go because I don't want to?
Yeah.
I don't want to. Or am I gonna be honor my wife and go?
Yeah.
So I was like, I'll just go. I'm gonna be mad about it though. Hmm. So I end up going. It's called Rooted, and we had like it drug up some stuff, man. And then all of a sudden, the whole time they're like, "Hey, you're gonna get into this class, and you're gonna realize that the devil is attacking you,
Hmm.
and you're gonna feel an attack. You're gonna feel attacked. So, your car's gonna something's gonna happen." And then, sure to form, just weird stuff started happening, and then uh, it's like I've noticed ever since, like if just stuff, and then you're like, wait a minute,
Hmm.
this whole time stuff like that's been happening to me, and I'm just like, oh, what am I gonna do? Why is this happening to me? Well,
Yep.
now you know I should have known all along, but now for sure I know
Yeah.
that you're doing something in the kingdom for the kingdom,
Hmm.
and the devil is just like, yo,
Yep.
nah.
He'd rather you sit still and do nothing.
Yeah, and he's happy with that. And you know what's funny? There's people that will be like, wait a minute, if I just stop doing this, then it'll all go away. And they're okay with that.
Mm.
But I couldn't, I'm more of the mindset, and always have been, as a contrarian, and to go against, like the water's going this way and I'm rowing this way.
Yep.
So, I'm rowing against what the devil wants me to do. And I'm like, pound sand, bro. I got places to go, people to save.
Yeah.
That I know that's like this oldest school, like Jesus saying, like it's a
Hmm.
camp saying or something. I can't remember, but yeah, I've felt that, and more, it's been more forefront of my mind as of late for sure.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I a lot of times I'll think about the fact that like sure I guess it's just always been impressed upon me pretty strongly that whole verse of like, the world's temporary, but what's eternal was what matters, you know what I mean?
Right.
So I
There's
think a lot about that.
there's something I'd been thinking. It was during that whole rooted class, like because I do have people in my life that are non-believers, and they're like, "Well, why is it this bad? Why has life sucked then? Well, why can't it just be easy?" And I'm like, "That wasn't the promise.
Hmm.
The promise wasn't it was going to be awesome here. The promise is that, you're not going to live forever.
Hmm.
You have an expiration date. Everybody does. We don't know when it is, but when we do expire, it's going to be awesome.
Hmm.
That's the promise.
Yep.
That's what you're saved upon. You're not saved upon everything's going to be hunky dory. It's going to be exactly the way I want it to be.
Hmm.
That isn't it. I don't know why the thought is like you get so sad when somebody passes away,
Hmm.
and I'll probably be sad when this hairball next to me passes away.
Hmm.
But he'll be happier. He'll be super.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, he's super happy now, but I mean, he'll be 1,000 times happier running. You know,
Hmm.
and I will be. I've seen it. I'll be 1,000 times happier.
Yeah.
Not that I'm not happy now, but imagine that times infinity.
Yep.
Which is what we're actually promised is to live forever
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
paradise, not live forever on earth. That would suck.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think about it too. Like people get bent out of shape about how like rough the world is, and on some levels that's absolutely like yeah, you should be a little bit upset about it because there's an enemy that hates you, and we should probably be
Right.
doing something about it.
Right.
Um, but it's like we respect all the stories about people who were the underdog and came out of it. But then
Yeah.
when it's like you're put into an underdog situation instead of thinking like, oh, I'm gonna dig out of this and there's gonna be a story at the other end of it. We're like, well, woe is me. I don't want to be here. It's like, okay, you respected when the other dude did it, but
Yeah.
when it's you that has to do it. So, but
Yeah.
there's so many layers to it. But